Well, our beloveds, growth is not always what you think it will be. Sometimes when you are challenged, you are frustrated. And other times when you are challenged, you realize that this is an opportunity for growth. And the reality is how you view this experience matters greatly, because if you view it as an opportunity for growth, your resistance is not as great. It may still be there, but it will be more resistance from, I don't know how to do this, versus why the hell is this happening to me? I cannot believe this is happening again and again and again. So we invite you all in to approach trials and tribulations with a little bit more acceptance that this is here to teach you something important, that you will grow and become a better version of you. Now, that does not mean that you need to embrace trauma. No. It is not that we are saying that you deserve this or that you are worthy of only being traumatized. It is here to say simply that you, in a former life, meaning that when you were on the other side of the veil, chose to incarnate to learn certain lessons. You hand-selected certain ones and then loosely designed others, allowing the universe to bring in the players and the processes to teach you. But sometimes you choose a particular path of abuse, neglect, or whatever you want to call it, to learn something in this life. It is not pleasant. It is not easy. And sometimes you are simply unable to overcome them. But nonetheless, it is your approach that matters more than the actual resolution that comes about. Now, here we are today to simply say, you are magnanimous. You are amazing. You are loving, and you are special. And yet, you come to suffer, because that is still the nature or the path of this universe. And until you really embrace the reality that that is the construct within which you operate, there is not much else that we can do to help to ease your suffering other than to repeat these words over and over again. And for those of you who absolutely resist the lessons, the processes, the methodology, the understandings that we offer you, well, then you will continue to sit in your own muck, because you are not willing to step outside of what no longer serves you. So now let's say it in human speak, right? Instead of in spiritual talk. You created a life experience here to teach you how to become who your soul wants you to become, the physical part of you. And if you do not believe that there is a spiritual or eternal aspect of you, whether there is a God out there is irrelevant. But if you don't believe that there is an afterlife of sorts, meaning that you get recycled or you continue to exist after this earthly experience, well, then you think you're just here to do whatever and that there is no greater purpose or meaning. And you're going to just sit within your process. And it is what it is. We share our messages for those in hopes that some will resonate at some point. And then there are others who are predesignated to be set free by a certain message that we offer. And then your time capsule will open. But there are others where it really is just up to you to choose the timing of whether or not you wish to learn your life's lesson. And therein lies the confusion for many of you, because many of you have opened your eyes or have awakened to the rules within which you operate, yet you are unable to successfully entice others to awaken, because if it's not their time, it's not their time. And you're sitting here on the playground waiting for the other children to understand the rules of Robin, Red Robin, right? No, not Rover, Red Rover. Robin, Red Robin. There is a game, Robin, Red Robin, where you want other birds to come and play with you on the playground, to dine with you, to share their bounty with you. But if they continue to see themselves as birds of prey, who are there to peck at you and eat you and your food, because they are in a place of lack and not in a place of abundance, if you feel the need to steal from another of your kind, or actually eat another of your kind, well, then you are not living in a place of abundance. And so we just ask you to see one another as loving creatures, as blind yet loving creatures who came to inhabit this body so that they could become love. And the more you can look at others and simply see them as traumatized individuals and to allow them to continue their experience and treating them from a place of love and compassion, because you see them as just as wounded individuals, then we can begin to learn you all, teach you all, advise you all, comfort you all to become the best versions of you. But right now, for the next 3 months, it is a very tumultuous time because astrologically a lot of assets are coming together to align for a big pop. Think of a champagne cork exploding and the innards popping out. It is where you all are astrologically or phonetically or geologically. It doesn't even matter, because at the end of the day, there is only one truth, only one process, only one path. And no matter how you choose to view it, with which eyes or which prism, it's still going to produce the same results. It is going to present itself in exactly the same manner, because it is meant to occur now to awaken humanity in a different way. And it will not be easy. It will not be light. It will not be joyous. It will not be productive even. It will be destructive and painful and tumultuous and a lot of other negative descriptors. We just want you all to recognize that this particular process within which each of you finds yourselves is here to teach you when to push, when to pull, and when to sit, and when to explore your navel, when to cry, when to express your dissatisfaction, or when to sit quietly. And each one of you can only figure this out by tuning into that inner voice, that inner knowing that you have suppressed because you were taught that you were a sinner, that you're a shame-based being, and you're not. And until you can kind of quiet down those voices of the shame within which you exist or reside, well, then and only then can you become the best version of you, when you begin to really love yourself and honor your process and see your growth and see why your growth has occurred. Not because you manipulated others or took advantage of others, but because you allowed yourself to become vulnerable and to feel the pain and the sadness and the hurt within you that you have hidden from for so many years, but also not acting or reacting out of it. Just sitting with it and saying, today I honor me. I honor my pain. I honor my process. I honor my journey. And I'm going to say, today I'm going to sit with it so that tomorrow I can begin to move forward, attracting new experiences into my life. You're learning what pain and suffering looks like because your childhood taught you that there was something wrong with you, when really it was the environment within which you were residing. Your beloveds around you did not keep you safe, did not honor your feelings. They taught you to shut down, shut up, sit down, and do as you're told, thereby negating your entire sense of self. And many of you are finally beginning to understand the harm that such parenting causes and caused, and the reverberations way down the road. It's generational, intergenerational trauma that you are experiencing, and we are asking many of you to end this trauma cycle with you, because it is time, because your soul, your predecessors or your ancestors are ready to heal this trauma too. And by healing it in your own body, you are, believe it or not, healing it within their body as well. It has a ripple forward and a ripple back effect, thereby changing the nature of humanity, because you are changing the vibrational imprint of Mother Earth and all of its inhabitants. And you, solely you, can change the nature of the world by just healing your own inner trauma and believing that by healing you, you heal the world. It is there for the taking, but each of you must run the gauntlet on your own. It is not a group effort. It is a solo journey, the dark night of the soul, or the hero's journey. But it will teach each of you what you came here to learn and what you came here to share, to experience, and to reverberate into a new process. You came to be love. And for those of you who are moving down that path or that process, you will see in 2 to 3 years how it feels differently within your body. It will shake you up a bit at first, and then it will allow you to sit peacefully at the bottom of the ocean, where nothing really impacts you anymore, because that is up at the surface. You are at the bottom, where the temperature is pretty consistent, the light is pretty consistent, the energetic imprint is pretty consistent, and you will feel a deep inner peace in knowing that you have finally arrived, when the things outside of you no longer trigger you, but instead just allow you to look about you and say, those are just traumatized human beings, and sit as an expression of love. That is it for today, our beloveds. May this message impart upon you the vibration of love that we are hoping to share within this.